Okay, there's 8 sections that we need to cover in chapter 10. It's a pretty long chapter. The first one we're going to do is line and angle relationships. So we're going to find some measures of some angles, and I'm going to introduce you to some new terminology about angles. So it says in the figure, line M right here is parallel. That's what those symbols mean, parallel to line N. And T, line T right here, is what we call a transversal. And it's saying to you, let me grab a pen, if the measurement of angle 7 is 123 degrees, find the measurement of angle 2 and measurement of angle 8. I'm going to show you the fastest way to do this. So what you do is you put this measurement down, okay? It would be a good idea if you had it written on your paper, draw 2 parallel lines and cut it with a transversal. And then it doesn't matter how you number your numbers. This is how they numbered them. So it says the measurement of angle 7 is 123 degrees. I can tell you a lot about all the other angles. So I'm going to go through a bunch of things with you. First of all, directly across from angle 7, can you see that those angles are congruent to each other? Remember, congruent means equal. They are, and they're called vertical angles. So if the measurement of angle 7 is congruent to the measurement of angle 3, I can say they are exactly the same degrees because of vertical angles. Now look at what else I can do. Angles 1 and 4 are also vertical, but I don't know anything about them yet. But I do know angle 7 is 123 degrees. And if you put the measurement of angle 1 together with 7, don't they create a straight line? And a straight line we know is 180 degrees. So if I know the measurement of angle 7 is 123 degrees, then all I need to do is subtract 180 and I can find out the measurement of angle 1 is 57 degrees. Because angle 7 plus angle 1 make a straight line, and straight lines equal 180. Angle 1 and angle 3 also make a straight line, and they make 180 degrees. So we can also see that if I know the measurement of angle 1, I also know the measurement of angle 4 because they are vertical angles to each other. So that's vertical angles. Now, one of the things I want you to notice is look at it, makes a circle. And don't we know that a circle is 360 degrees? So if I added all 4 of those angles together, I would get 360 degrees. Makes sense. So now how do I find these? Well, there are other angle names that you need to learn besides vertical angles. One of them would be alternate interior angles. So what you can see is you have a parallel line and you have inside the parallel line. This is inside the parallel line. This is exterior. This is outside the parallel lines. So I can tell you that alternate means on opposite sides. Alternate interior angles are congruent to each other. So if you look, angle 3 is on the opposite side of angle 8. Those are alternate interior angles and therefore congruent. And you can see they're both obtuse. What is alternate interior to angle 4? Angle 5. So if I know 4 is 57, then I know 5 is 57. And then I could do the same thing I just did up here. Angle 8 and 2, those are vertical angles. So I would say that's 123 degrees. Angle 5 and angle 6 is vertical angles, so that also is 57 degrees. And again, if I added all of them up, I get 180. And if you look at it, it's got a pattern. As long as it's parallel lines, it's got a pattern. So there are lots of different angles that you need to be familiar with and know the names of them. So vertical angles was one of them. Vertical angles are kind of like they make an X like this, and they're directly across. So like 1 and 2 are vertical, and then these 2 would be vertical to each other. Those are called vertical angles. Then when I write alternate interior, I usually just write alt interior. Alternate interior means it's interior, inside the parallel lines on opposite sides. So in this case, I could say angle 3 is congruent, in case you forgot the symbol for congruent, to angle 8 because they're alternate interior. Also, angle 4 is congruent to angle 5 because they're alternate interior. Something else that I didn't discuss, but I could have also used that as why they were equal, is alternate exterior angles. Exterior means on the outside, and you can clearly see that angle 1 is on the opposite side, outside the parallel lines to angle 6. And angle 7 is congruent to angle 2. Because see, they're on the opposite sides outside the parallel lines. Seems a little confusing, but once you get the hang of it and you identify these, it's really quick to see a pattern when you place it all on your parallel lines. I always place it all on my angles so that I can see that pattern and make sure that I didn't make a mistake. Another name I want you to be familiar with is supplementary. Supplementary angles are two angles that equal 180 degrees. So I would look at angle 1 plus angle 3 equals 180, and there's a lot of them. So I'm not going to go through all of them, but you'll get the idea. Angle 3 plus angle 4 equals 180 degrees. And so on. Angle 4 plus 7 is 180. 1 plus 7 is 180. 5 plus 2 are supplementary and equal to 180. 2 plus angle 2 plus angle 6 are supplementary and equal to 180. And angle 6 plus angle 8 are supplementary. So supplementary simply means two angles, when added together, create a straight line, create 180 degrees. Okay? So just move on. Again, it has to tell you that they're parallel, which it does. The line M is parallel to line N, and T is our transversal. It tells you the measurement of angle 4, which is 57 degrees. Now you should be able to tell me everything else. So if you were in class, I would say to you, who else is 57 degrees? I would hope that you could tell me that angle 1 is, because they're vertical to each other. That angle 5 is because they're alternate interior to each other. And if you know 5, you know 6 because they're vertical. So how do you get the other angles? I hope you remember that I just told you two angles that create a straight line and lay on that line make 180. So if I know the measurement of angle 4 is equal to 57, I can clearly just do 180 minus 57 and find my measurement of angle 7, which is 123 degrees. Together they make 180. And now I can find all the other ones. Because if I know 7, I know 3 because they're vertical angles. If I know 3, then I know 8 because they're alternate interior. If I know 7, I know 2 because they're alternate interior to each other. So see, once you have one measurement, you can find all of them. And you can see the pattern once you look at it like this. And then alternate interior right here, vertical right here. I could say alternate exterior right here, or I could say supplementary to 6. Vertical angle right here, or I could have said alternate interior to angle 3. But you can see the pattern. So there are two things. I told you about supplementary. Another one is called complementary. Complementary angles have to equal two angles whose sum equals 90 degrees. It's pretty easy to remember. Supplementary has to equal 180. Complementary has to equal 90 degrees. There's a trick that I would show you. You usually take the C and I draw a line down like this so that you can see, oh, that's right, complementary is the 90 degree angle because I can make 90 right there. Supplementary, I always remember, is 180 because it starts with an S, and so does straight angle. But this one is complementary. I need to know which one is complementary to angle D being 53. So I'm just going to do 90 minus 53 and find its complement. And that's all we have to do for that. They made that much more complicated. So go back here. I would just go 90 minus 53 equals 37 degrees. Together they make 90. That's complementary. Supplementary, I'd already told you, that is to equal 180 degrees. So I'm going to take 180 degrees and I'm going to subtract 104 from it to figure out that I'm going to get what? 76 degrees? Yep, it is. This one, remember I always said to you, you can do algebra without geometry, but you can't do geometry without algebra. So it's saying to you that PQR and STU are supplementary. That means together they make 180. So if I have the angle PQR plus angle STU equals 180. So then I substitute what I know, right here like this, and then I start to combine like terms. So you can see I put my x's together, and then negative 15 and negative 65 makes negative 80. And then I'm going to go ahead and solve this two-step equation. I'm going to add 80 to both sides like this. And then I'm going to get 2x is equal to 260. Divide both sides by 2. And x is equal to 130. Now, that's not your answer. It says find the measurement of each angle. So now you have to take that 130 and substitute it here. So you'll do 130 minus 15 to get the measurement of PQR, and 130 minus 65 to get the measurement of STU. That's that simple. There you go. There's the measurement of that one, and that's the measurement of the other. And together they make 180 degrees. So you can always double check your answer. Same process here, but this time it's complementary. And remember what I said about complementary? That's 90 degrees. So it's going to be x plus 12 plus 2x minus 9 equals 90 degrees. Just try not to get those two mixed up. So I have 3x, and this is where I would wait for you to give me your answer on the next, but you're not there. Plus 3 equals 90. I'll go ahead and add a negative 3 to both sides, or subtract 3 from both sides, however you want to say it. And you're going to end up with 3x equals 87. You can divide both sides by 3 and find out that x is 29. But remember, that's not your answer. Now you need to take that 29 and substitute it up here and do 29 plus 12 to get this measurement. And here, 2 times 29 minus 9 to get the measurement of DEF. So there they both are. Together they make 90 degrees. It's the same kind of thing we were just doing, but now it's just a story about a road crosses a railroad track at the angle shown. The measurement of angle 1 is 131 degrees. Remember what I told you to do? Just do all of them, and then you'll have your answer for one of them, those two. So angle 1 is 131. I can either go this way and find supplementary, or I can go directly across and say, this is a vertical angle, this is alternate interior angle, right there. And then to find the other ones, we're going to go ahead and do what? 180 minus 131, because when we do that, we know they're supplementary to each other. And I get 49. Makes sense because that's an acute angle right there. If that's 49, vertical angle makes that 49. Alternate interior makes that 49. Vertical makes this 49. And vertical makes this 131. Vertical here, or I could have said alternate exterior, alternate interior, any one of them. But now I have the measurement of angle 6 and 5. Same kind of thing. So put 48 down here, and then go ahead and try to find all the other ones. 48 there, subtract from 180 to find the missing measurement of the other one. Well, I realize that doesn't make sense, does it? That's obtuse. So I'm thinking that they didn't mean measurement of angle 2 is 48, unless they meant that it's, let's say they meant that it was 148. I think I forgot the one there. So if you do 148 minus 180, that makes more sense, because then you get an acute. So then you would say this is 32. And then you can do all the rest of them. This is 32, this is 148, this is 148, this is 32, 32, 148. Easy.